Welcome back to The Trade. I'm Gina Beck.
This is Drew Williams.
Thank you for listening, liking, commenting, and subscribing. We appreciate y'all, especially all the reviews on Apple Podcasts. It really means a lot.
Yeah, and like always, thank you again for the continued support, the continued engagement, and the hashtag Banana Cats.
How are you, Drew?
I'm alright, G. How are you?
Doing well. Doing well. Excited to get into this episode.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah, we had a few things we wanted to talk about. Something in particular is I came across this randomly, and I just kind of wanted to get your input as well as maybe voice mine. Because this is something that usually isn't, in my opinion, like on the news. And I just think it's cool that this neighborhood is coming together, and maybe people might feel differently. We'll see. Have you heard of a place called Menifee? Am I saying that right? Menifee.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
It's in California. It's a Menifee, California, if I'm saying that right.
I'd have to look it up and see what it's near, but no, I've never even heard of that area.
Well, there's this place in California, and residents are furious. They're upset over a proposed placement of a convicted CM. You guys know what CM is? And they don't want him in the neighborhood. So they're banding together and they're voicing their opinions and they're making sure that he does not get to live in that neighborhood. Now, I just want to talk about this because I would say it's rare where a neighborhood actually makes it a mission for something like this to happen. I think you hear a lot of complaints, but you actually don't get the action. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, and I bet you a lot of people are shocked that it's in California.
Right. There's 200, at least 200 people who voiced their concerns during a town hall meeting, and it was hosted by the police department, and a ton of several like members of Riverside County District Attorney's Office showed up. Like everybody was there that needed to be. And their main complaint is the grandchildren because this guy was convicted of doing, you know what, with a 9-year-old boy. And so their main concern is the grandchildren and the other children in the area, which understandably slow, right? So just who would want him as your neighbor? So I just wanted to give kudos and like just shed some light on this and show that like when people in a community come together, they can get things done. And it's our job as a community and as adults to make sure that the children around us are protected. And some people would argue, well, he needs a place to live. There's places for people like him, and I won't go into all the places that people like him deserve to be, but there are literally neighborhoods of straight up predators. Like if you guys didn't know.
Yeah, I'll have to look for it, but there's a short documentary about a spot in Florida that is an entire. Me and you have watched it before. Of the whole little. It's kind of like a
It's like a
trailer
yeah.
park of weirdos.
But you know who else gets put in like just so you guys can imagine this trailer park? Elderly people, there's trailer parks for them. You know, I know that in my hometown and other towns that I've been to, there's like these really nice trailer parks
They're
with
all
like,
over California too.
and it's not like maybe what you're thinking RV trailers, like they're home trailers. I don't know what the specific word for that is, but
They're like double wides.
double wides, right? And there's a whole like for retired people, and you have to be like a certain age to be able to live there, and da da da. Da. And then there's ones for families, like even down the street. My friend lives in one that has like a pool and like a park, and it's for families. And then there's ones for these guys. So they have places for them.
I'll have to look at the article. Did you say the area was Mendocino or Merced, maybe?
Menifee, M-E.
Menifee. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up where that's at.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring this up because I'm sure a lot of people are thinking like, this is happening in California. That's where all the like leftist weirdos are. most of California is agricultural land if it's, you know, where people live and stuff like that. There's a lot of very conservative areas in California that would probably surprise a lot of people that would come here when they think of just Los Angeles or the Bay Area. So it really doesn't shock me because it sounds like it's a smaller town. It might be an ag town. I could see my town doing something like that if some guy. But I mean, you look at watchdog.org, I've got guys around me, so maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to
Right? You
say.
never know until like it happens, right? I guess the conclusion on it is a Riverside County Superior Court judge is scheduled to hold a hearing on the issue in downtown Riverside on July 29th, 2022.
Okay, so that is it's SoCal. Riverside is near LA County and all that.
I sent you the article. They state a couple of different names in this article, but yeah, and the main one in the headline is Manifest, and then they state Riverside.
Yeah, well, good for that. Excuse me. Good for that community. I mean, that's more people should band together like that and not accept those type of people being placed into their neighborhoods. I mean, think of all the kids that are around, and we
This
know
guy's been in trouble since 1978. I mean, I wouldn't want him around either. I'd be like, he has been nothing but trouble all these years. No, no, no,
he's
no.
definitely going to reoffend. There's no way at that age and that long of a
Mm-hmm.
yeah of a conviction rate. Like no, no. Like good on them. Very proud of that community. I'm gonna have to dig more into that. This kind of well, I guess it's not really related, but does have to do with kids. So some of you have may have seen a story that's been going around the last few days, and I could only find one credible in quotes news source, which was Fox News talking about it. But I'm gonna read the title. I'm gonna read the first couple paragraphs from it, and then I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. So, middle schooler worried harassment accusations for using wrong pronouns could shatter college chances. A Wisconsin middle schooler who is accused of harassment for misgendering a classmate said he's afraid for his future if the Title IX violation is not removed from his record. Rosemary Rabidois, and I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, told Fox News Digital she received a phone call from the school's principal saying she would be receiving an email with harassment allegations against her son Brandon. Quote, I immediately thought harassment. That's 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 inappropriate. Even grotesque language could go that far. And when I asked him what my son did, he said he did not use the correct pronouns, she said. Now, the article goes on and it talks about all of it. And a lot of you, some of you might be asking, what the heck is Title IX? Title IX was an amendment to the U.S. Constitution on June 23rd, 1972. It was signed into law by Richard Nixon. Title IX is a comprehensive federal law that prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex in any federally funded education program or activity. And then if you read the whole thing, we'll link it. It goes into specifics. It's basically like colleges, uh, elementary schools, junior highs, any of the programs that like you can get grants for, and anything like that. But it's if you read it, I don't see how a child using the wrong pronouns would be an appropriate application for a violation for a kid. I mean, it's we're gonna just like we're doing with a lot of other words. You're like taking the real oomph of the meaning around. If you're just gonna have every 14-year-old that uses the wrong pronouns is now listed as someone who's harassment, that's crazy to me.
There'd be a lot of people in trouble, right? Because I mean, that's not something that people I feel like, well, children, are that they know, and if they are learning it, should they be? You know what I mean? There's that big old question if they should be, at what age, and how old that they should start learning this. And you said he's 14, right? So say we know if his school teaches things like that or not?
From the article, it didn't really go into specifics like that in the short interview they had with the mom, but there is three other cases in that state where the Title IX violation is going against children for using the wrong pronouns.
Okay, we'll say the school is teaching it, right? It's a learning thing. Kids are learning. I mean, you throw algebra in front of a kid after they just learned pluses, division, and subtraction. It's a new curriculum. It's new everything, and they're learning it. They're not just going to get it in the first week, in the first month, in the first year, maybe even. So it's things that they have to adjust to and learn. So if it is being taught in schools, you need to give them time. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't, either way, it shouldn't be something that it should be to that extent of you being in trouble, because freedom of speech, right? It's like that should be part of freedom of speech, I feel like.
The as funny as the child's lawyer basically said is a gross violation of freedom of speech and things
Okay,
like that.
yeah, that's what it sounds like. I mean, the kid doesn't know any better. In 10 years, he ain't even going to remember that this situation happened unless it stays on his record. You know what I mean? Kids say things. Have you never been in a Call of Duty game room with a bunch of people? I mean, all those people should be in prison. Is that what you're telling me? Because no, no, you got to let people just. They're not hurting nobody, you know. And if they don't know any better,
And I'm not saying that the kid wasn't disrespectful to some other student. I'm sure the situation, there's more context, there's two sides of the story, but like,
but to that extent of a punishment
yeah,
is kind of, not kind of, it's really detrimental to someone's future, excuse me. So if you want to ruin a future because of some words, I feel like, come on, guys. You know?
I just think of the waste of taxpayers' money for things like this. It's like we're always complaining that education's not getting enough funding, the teachers aren't getting what they're needed, but how much did this just cost the school districts?
Right. And yeah. I'm pro do whatever you want. It's
Yep.
your life and your body, so don't put me in, like, in this little box. Definitely I'm such an open-minded person to whatever people want to do. Just punishment like this, it should be a sit down conversation and maybe like a learning curve, you know, not the kid is, the only thing he's worried about is his future. That shows you something. He's worried about his future. That's a good thing. A kid is worried about his future at 14. Come on, guys, give him a break. I mean, he wants a future. That's what that tells me, is he wants a good future. So why ruin that right now?
Yeah, hopefully it's one of those things that judges looks at all of it and just tosses it out and that's the end of it.
Well, let us know and we'll let you guys know.
Absolutely.
All right, until next time, banana cats, love y'all.
Banana cats. Much love. Peace.